Today we have Kim Stehr with Winona County 4-H who's going to talk to us about her job. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what it is that you do at that office?
Yep, so like Jamie said, I am Kim Stehr. I'm the Winona County local extension educator working directly with the 4-H program. Our office is located in Winona, and I'm not in the office every day. That's the beauty of the position, is you're not always sitting behind a desk. And so I work directly with the 4-H clubs, members, and volunteers within the county. I provide leadership and some direction to them throughout this position.
And how long have you been in that position?
I've worked here, it will be 4 years in February. So still kind of new. It changes every year, and obviously this year it's very different, but yeah, so getting the hang of it for sure.
And what motivated you to want to do this job?
Yeah, so 4-H was super impactful to me as a youth. I participated from as soon as we could join all the way through, and it really just helped me, you know, find my passions and interests, in addition to like getting great communication skills and meeting people that I probably wouldn't have met otherwise. And so this wasn't like a position that I originally seen myself in. The opportunity like kind of just came about, and I thought, why not? Like, how cool to try to help other youth have the same experience that I did as a 4-Her. And so I applied, and here I am, and it's just so fun to see other youth having a similar experience or even greater experience, or making their experience in 4-H whatever they want it to be. So that was kind of, like I said, not a pathway by any means that I had originally planned to go down, but we're here, and I'm thankful for that. So.
And you kind of talked about your supervision of the programs, but could you tell us a little bit of your day-to-day activities and what it is you do?
Yep, so some days we're in the office and we are planning for programs, we're answering questions, we're helping people get registered for whether it's different programs or IDing their animals for the upcoming county fair. In the summer, we're really not in the office a whole lot. We're doing our preparations for the county fair, for day camps, for the regional 4-H camp. And so a lot of times we're grabbing and on the go and at different programs and or fundraisers, different things like that. And other times we are in the office and we're just planning. So it really varies. I would say the winter months most commonly is kind of when we're catching up, we're in the office. And we're doing more of those administrative tasks and planning for the year. But otherwise we have quite a bit of programming going on, whether it's weekends or evenings or things like that. So.
Oh, so it's not just an 8 to 5 job.
Nope. So typically our office is open 8 to 4:30, and a lot of times we have evening meetings. So our clubs typically meet in the evenings. I don't have to go to the club meetings necessarily unless I'm asked to provide additional support to those volunteers and youth. But we have county federation meetings is what they're called. And so I help facilitate those along with our youth leaders. And so those are once a month on Mondays. And then a lot of our trainings, since we're working with youth that are, you know, school aged, our trainings are either evenings or, I shouldn't say just trainings, workshops, events, programs, things like that are evenings and weekends. So yeah, it varies a lot. And so there's some days that I'm not in the office at all and I'm doing programs, or it's Saturday and it's you know, working from obviously not the office, but different locations with clubs or other things like that. So lots of variety, which is a good thing for me.
And how do you balance then your personal life with your nights and weekends being somewhat taken up by this?
Yep, so it's just like you said, it's a balance. So you just kind of have to work it out. We are able to have somewhat of a flexible schedule. So if I'm taking all of Saturday to do 4-H work, I can take part of another day during the week off and kind of make sure that I can still get my things done and 4-H things. Sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes I go in on a normal day at 8 o'clock and I work through till the evening meeting, and I come home at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. But that's just what works. And so there's the beauty of it is that there's not a ton of rigidity, but the schedule can get a little more complex when you start doing a lot of evenings and weekends and things like that. But obviously with COVID right now, we're doing less of that and more virtual from home. So we still have some, but it looks very different, and we don't have travel time figured in, which sometimes saves us a lot of time. So it is just it's a balancing act, and if you're having fun, it's less difficult to make it a balancing act. So I would say that piece for sure.
So you mentioned really wanting to help youth. Did you go to school to get an education in this path, or how did you get down that road?
So great question. So when I was in high school, I originally thought I would either go into education, elementary education, or I was going to go into animal science and potentially be a large animal vet. I decided the animal science route. I went to the University of Wisconsin River Falls and majored in animal science and thought I was going to work my way towards vet school. Early on, I just decided that vet school was not going to be the right fit for me. 8 years in school didn't really seem like something that was going to be fitting for me. And so I just switched and it wasn't really much of a switch. I just took the meat animal emphasis track in the animal science program and graduated in 3.5 years. And people will be like, how did you do that? Like many of the students now know, there's either PSEO or in the schools college classes that you can take. And I had done that. And so I was able to shave a semester off of my degree. And that's kind of there's two ways to look at it. And so if people have questions on that, they can reach out to me too. There's kind of beauty in that both ways. But so I got a 4-year degree in 3.5 years. And I had multiple internships throughout my college career. So I had done some like feed sales for my first one, and then I worked more in like livestock production with a breeding company, and then I worked in crop science in a sales role. And since I was graduating in December after I finished my internship in the sales role with crop science, they had offered me a position that fall for when I graduated. And so I took it. I mean, why not? You're not even graduated yet, and you can, and you have a job, sure, why not? So I started working for the crop science company after I graduated in December and worked there for 2 years. There was a lot of travel. It was a great job, but I was kind of looking to maybe do something a little bit different, and this opportunity just kind of came about. I thought, I don't know if I can see myself in this position, but maybe. And like I said, 4-H was just super impactful for me. So to have that personal tie, I think really made a difference for me to like consider the position and see myself in it. And then applied, went through that whole process and started in February of 2017. So yeah, that was how I landed here, and I'm happy to be here. But like I said, no specific path, or I had no idea that this is where I would end up by any means right now. So.
And you have a degree in your job, but would you have to have a degree in that job? And if so, what kind of degree?
Yep. So they are asking for the candidates or the people applying to have a bachelor's degree. What you have your degree in can vary. We have people that have degrees in education or youth development. There's others that have them in animal science, similar to me. And there's a lot of variety in our jobs depending on where you want to take it. I mean, we're working a lot with volunteers and youth, and we're doing teaching, we're doing animal science programming, and there's tons of other things. So there's a lot of ways to tie a degree into being fit for this position. And so education is one that is kind of an easy one to look to that would fit this, but certainly not the only one. And their position description online for the hiring app has a little bit more direction with that. But there's benefit in being able to tie your passions into your degree and into your job to make it all a little bit more fun, I think. So
yeah. And you mentioned having that passion, but what skills would a student need to, if they were looking to do that would be soft or technical skills that they should carry with them?
Yeah, so I would say the biggest and most beneficial skill in this position is your communication skills. We're working a lot with youth and adults. So in the position, the majority, or so it seems, the majority of this position is connecting with our volunteers who are leading our clubs and our youth through a lot of the programs. So we have 14 clubs in the county, which means we have over 14 volunteers leading those clubs, and they all look to me for support. So we're helping them, but then we also have project leaders, we have coaches, different things like that that are helping our youth that we're communicating with. And then families are coming to me or their club leaders frequently for questions and different things like that. And yeah, so I would say communication, being able to talk with people is huge, and being relatable. You know, people really appreciate connecting with someone who understands. And so those are skills that are always beneficial, but in this position for sure. In terms of technical, we do a lot of things on the computer. There's programs, different things like that, but nothing that you can't learn as you go, I would say. But yeah, those are the big ones, I think. So
As you described the event planning, it made me think about a creative personality. Is that something that you look forward? Because I would have difficulty with that, I think.
Yep. So I would say flexibility and creativity would be two other ones. Creativity while you're creating programs, really. I mean, like I've said before, you can make this look however you want. So the more creative and engaging it is, the better, and the more the participants are really going to enjoy it. But also with working with a lot of youth and adults, sometimes in very large programs, things aren't going to go like perfectly as you plan. So to have a little flexibility is also a big part of it as well.
So could you tell somebody, obviously they're going to have a bachelor's degree starting this, but what would be a ballpark starting wage for someone who might be interested in this job?
The starting salary is around $44,000, and then in addition, there's benefits through the University of Minnesota. So the part that I haven't added in is that although I work through Winona County and directly with their youth and adult volunteers, I am hired through the University of Minnesota. So I'm a University of Minnesota staff. The 4-H program is ran through land-grant universities, and so we get a lot of our resources and things from them, and they are the ones that do the hiring. So you would have the university benefits as well within the position.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
As a high school student, maybe looking that this might be a route to take and wanting to start at some point, would there be high school classes that you could suggest for them to consider?
Yeah, I would say your speech classes, and I know most people don't like them, especially as a high schooler, but they're helpful. You know, anytime you get the chance to get in front of a group of people, it's going to benefit you, and you're just going to get more and more comfortable. And there's not a ton of times that I'm in front of a large group and really have to give like a presentation. But there's a lot of times where I'm in front of a group and I just have to be able to effectively communicate with what's going on in the county. And so I would say your speech class, any classes that you have to do a project or a presentation in, take them and run with them. That's kind of what our youth are going to be doing too. They get to pick their project areas and do presentations in. So if you're well versed in lots of hands-on things, whether it's science or more home economics, ag or agronomy, even woods and welding, like 4-H kind of covers the whole gamut. And so really anything you can gain from any of those classes is going to benefit you as you would start working with youth and volunteers doing similar things through the program.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Would there be a final bit of advice that you would give for anyone looking to figure out their career path, and if being an extension employee, it would be a good fit for them?
Yeah, so I would say keep looking, keep your eyes open. A lot of times you don't know what your fit should be until you're there. And so I would also say that just because you went one direction with your degree or you have a certain job does not mean that you're stuck. So use those things as stepping stones. But if you're looking at a 4-year degree, do those internships. I mean, it's 3 months. I'm not saying it's ever the perfect job and you get the perfect situation and get to do all the things you want to do as an intern, but you do find out the things that you don't want to do, that don't work for you, or that like really do work for you. So that's huge, you know, like get a couple different jobs as you're trying things. If you're thinking education, maybe be a tutor after school, something like that. Volunteer with the 4-H program and put on a class for that. Different things like that. Keep putting yourself out there to help try and figure out what really works for you would be my advice.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
If a student wants to follow up with an individual question or talk further in depth, is there a way to reach out to you?
Yep. So like I said, I'm located in Winona County at the Extension office. I don't know if you want me to send my email and phone number, but you guys are more than welcome. You can stop in the office. You can give me a call. You can job shadow. Shoot me an email if you have specific questions. I also have coworkers. There's an extension educator in every county in Minnesota. And so my coworkers are also happy to, you know, see you, chat with you, let you job shadow them. If you don't want to drive to Winona County, we're all over the place. And so if you need that connect, don't be afraid to reach out.
Great. Well, thank you so much for everything today, Kim.
You're welcome.